We've got a guest on our show this morning. Please welcome former Philadelphia Phillies center fielder, two-time World Series champion, two-time All-Star, four-time Gold Glove winner, the Flyin Hawaiian himself, Shane Victorino.
Man, Kathy's got her own show, her own name. Wow. Where has life come?
Where have you been?
Yeah, where have you? No, congratulations. It's awesome,
thank
man.
you
I know
so
it's been
much.
some years, but it's always exciting to be back on the air with you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I've known Shane for a long time, since you played.
Yes.
And it's cool to see some of the stuff that you're doing. Now, you've been in Philadelphia a ton.
Yeah, I mean, lucky enough for us, some of us have been brought back to Phillies by the Phillies to do some stuff here, in the city with sponsors and other things within the city. So, it's always great to be back. It's an honor, obviously, for the organization to want to, have us back and, be a part of it.
Well, I was going to say, you had that great intro of all the awards and everything he's had. But, I mean, yesterday, I just want to say, it is now Shane, how about good luck charm in the TV booth, Victorino? Yesterday, third inning, you're in the TV booth with Hamels, Kruk, and, of course, T-Mac. And all of a sudden, you guys are talking about Schwarber and the slump, and boom, he hits the home run.
Well, hopefully that's the start of, a nice little run for him. But, yeah, it's always, again, to be nice around, to get back around the game, to talk about the game, to watch the game, and obviously to get a W last night was obviously big.
But how cool is it when you're in the booth and that moment happens?
It's kind of I call it deja vu when the moment's happening as you're talking about it and then it happens. It's kind of one of those moments where it kind of takes you back to, times of as a player, things that you talk about in the dugout, and then you go out there and you're actually able to implement the work that you put in and then have success to it. So that was what was cool, to call it from an announcer standpoint and watch it like really happen. So
I was watching it. I'm like writing notes. I'm like, he's coming in tomorrow. I got to talk about this. This is so cool.
Yeah,
Were you superstitious as a player like that?
I had. I think we all do. I
Okay.
think it's our sport definitely is a superstitious sport because you do it every single day. And I think I tell people that's the one thing about our sport that makes it different from every other sport, is that I have to do this every single day for 162 games. And that's just the season. That's not even including spring training and what I call, when the lights come on, the postseason, where it's a whole nother monster of the game of baseball. So, it's always fun to talk about baseball.
That was a cool moment yesterday.
Yes,
it really
for
was.
sure.
2 World Series.
Yes.
Which one was better?
Oh man, stop. I tell people this. It was 2 different parts of my career, 2 different aspects, 2 different, the way I looked at the game. Here winning it as a young 2008, I was a 28-year-old kid. Still trying to come into the game of baseball. And also realizing that the city of Philadelphia doesn't have many championships.
Yeah.
And I just, hey. Growing up where I did, I just assumed Philadelphia was this great sports iconic city and they had all these championships. And then when you get into it and you actually win one, you realize that, you're in a special class and there's not many of us. So, again, it makes that great. And then on the flip side, I tell people winning in Boston, again, I was older. I was on the back end of my career. I was hoping for that, that opportunity to win it again because I had lost, we had lost to the Yankees in 2009. So I had a bitter taste in my mouth. So to get that opportunity to come back and win it there. But I tell people the biggest part about that was the bombings. That was the year the city got, the Boston bombings happened, early in the season. And to be able to turn, the city, and I call not just the city, but the world, get behind you. And, we were able to win the championship at the end of that year. It was definitely special.
Wow, I forgot that was that year.
Yeah, so that's what made that, that I tell people that's what made that. I always say it's one of those things where you talk about the greater being. And, yes, I believe in it. But, when you're actually out there on the field and you're doing it every day for a long period of time and you realize, like, man, there's really no way we should be winning this, but there's something else that's just trucking along with us and just giving us that energy, that spirit, and, to win it. And as I said, turn that city and turn the whole world and the excitement that, was able to, happen with that World Series.
You just made that answer so nice.
Oh, stop. You got to be gentle with this crowd around here. No.
You know us well. So you were here for a number of reasons. One was Chase Utley on the Wall of Fame now. Do you think that whole 2008 team will eventually be up there?
Oh, I mean, you would hope that some of us and the rest of us get to eventually go up there. I don't know if you put in the whole team up there, but, I mean, I think at some point, you're right. I mean, I'd rather just do a whole team, kind of like the 2008 team, put them up there on the wall. But, I mean, obviously to be, on that wall, to be part of, Phillies history, for the guys who are there already and, Chase this year, I mean, it's well-deserved. I think a few of them will eventually end up in, Cooperstown, and hopefully I get to go and be with them and watch them get inducted to the Hall of Fame. But I think there's some legit chance for some of those guys to get up there and, hopefully someday.
Yeah. And you are also in town because this weekend, Laura, I said next weekend, and she was like, "It's this weekend."
This weekend.
It's this Friday, it's through Sunday. Yeah, no.
You have an event coming up, Bobby. You want to take a break, and we'll come back and we'll learn all about the 2006 Perfect Game Dick's All-American Classic taking place on Sunday. Shane will tell us about it.
Cool.
Shane, you're in town for the Perfect Game, the All-American Classic, which takes place on Sunday at 1:35. Tell me about what is this?
Well, it's a youth baseball. Perfect Game's a youth baseball organization that a lot of the kids in today's world get to play. It's a very highly sought after organization, and if you do well in Perfect Game, that kind of helps your in the bigger picture of your baseball journey. So, it's an honor, obviously, to be asked to manage these young fellas that are getting that opportunity and their next step in the game of baseball. But as I told Greg Castriato, who had asked me to be a part of this for Perfect Game, that I just want to get out there. I want to watch the talent of the future and, obviously try to give them some piece of advice that they can use for the rest of their career.
You're managing against Joe Girardi.
Yes.
Is managing anything you've thought of, like you want to get into or do, or?
Yes and no. I mean, obviously, there's always things that you always say you want to do, and there's always a thought, but, the work that goes into it, after I literally just had the opportunity to manage in the Futures game during the All-Star break. And I actually said to somebody, it was my wife. I said, I definitely don't want to manage because the responsibilities, you got to do. Yeah, I mean, you have to make the lineups. You have to, the guys are coming to you at what times to, workout and this and that. I'm like, man, I definitely don't know if I ever want to be a manager. But
did it make you respect more of the managers that you grew up with playing
and exactly
with?
Was my point is that I actually said when I went home to my wife, I was like, I tip my cap for all my managers. Imagine dealing with me as a player and having to corral that amongst, the 24 other guys and whatever else that comes along and everything. So, a lot of respect to managers. I definitely have a different, outlook.
I watched you play the 3-on-3 during the All-Star week, and I have to say, not that you need your head to get any bigger, but you look the best out there.
Oh,
out of all them, I'm not kidding. I was like, he looks like when he was playing.
Yeah.
Like when you ran after, you were in the outfield, and when you caught a fly ball, I was like, you tore across the field to get to it, and I'm like, he looks like he's playing.
He's like, yeah, but how I felt the next day was different.
Exactly. 2 days later, I was still struggling, but yes, the outlook and the image of moving around the field looks a lot more graceful. But yes, I did not. I definitely felt it that day and the next night.
This All-American Classic is Sunday. It's free.
This is cool. So, and parking's free too.
Parking's
down
free
at Citizens Bank Park. Yeah,
that's awesome. So first pitch at 1:35, you can go out.
Yep,
free
no
parking.
tickets are necessary.
It features 60 of the nation's top high school baseball players managed by you and Joe Girardi. And Bryce Harper and Zach Wheeler, they actually played in this game when they were younger.
That's really cool.
That is so cool. So I didn't realize that, are a lot of these kids like
the next ones?
The next ones.
They are the future. I mean, as I said, it's amazing how Perfect Game has been able to kind of set the standard in youth baseball that, a lot of these scouts and these, teams follow, and they get behind some of the numbers and statistics. And, so yes, this weekend there's definitely, I would say this is probably the country's top, high school players. I actually excited to see the size of some of these kids, man. I mean, when I was growing up, there were some big, big kids. But, man, every time I come around a certain, now these kids at 16, 17, I'm like.
They're all Ryan Howard.
Yeah, I'm like, man, what is going on here? Like, are we going to have 7-footers, that's normal in 10, 15, 20 years from now?
Probably.
I don't know, man. That's going to be kind of creepy that, we're going to be real short if that does happen. I'm not very tall myself.
So you haven't had any contact with these kids yet?
No,
no coaching
not
or anything?
At all. Nope.
Okay.
I have no, I might have run into some of these kids, obviously, with my son when he was playing, and I still coach in Perfect Game tournaments. So will I may have run into some of these kids or played against them? Yes. But as I said, I'm looking forward to seeing all these kids that are, descending on the city of Philadelphia.
Aside from never having to buy a drink in the city of Philadelphia ever in your entire lifetime, what's next for you? Like, what are you planning on doing next after this? And what do you think's the future?
Oh, I mean, watching my kids grow up, playing golf, still working with the Phillies, doing stuff with MLB. And, the other thing that I've been, lucky to be a part of is that new Banana Ball league that's happening.
So great.
So, I've been asked to be a primetime manager of the team that I am part of, which is the local Beach Coconuts. It's a beach themed team, and it's a blast. It's fun. It's very relaxing for me. I tell people I'm kind of the sideshow to the show because a lot of these people who come to these games, they're Banana Ball. They like the players.
Yes.
So unless you're a, avid baseball fan, like you really don't know who I am because I'm not there every day. I'm not playing in it every day. So, but it's crazy to see what Jesse and Banana Ball has been able to do. So it's been pretty fun to do that.
It's so fun.
Well,
Yeah.
he
It's really
amazes me. Like what he created, and people told him like, this is the dumbest thing. It's not going to work. And look at it.
Great motivation right there.
Yes.
You got to love that motivation when someone tells you this is not going to work.
Yeah.
Boom.
I absolutely
It's amazing
love
to see for sure.
Yep.
So if you ever been to one, you guys got to go for sure.
What is this shirt? Do you have your own line?
Nope.
Okay.
I just, it was literally a logo, and it was my logo. I had, someone made it, and people ask me all the time about it, like, because it is literally a simple shaka with wings, and it was like, let's make hats, let's make shirts, and I'm like, I just make it for myself, just to, or my family and friends. I don't know. You know how it is, Kathy. It's always, it's work, I guess. At the end of the day. If somebody wants to go do it and take the logo and take the name and want to do all the work, then I'm all for it. So,
Shane, welcome to Brett, our producer, his generation, right there. I think you're going to do really well coaching these kids.
Yeah, for sure.
When you come back to Philly, does it still feel a little bit like home for you?
Oh, it always will be. I love the city. I hope the city loves me back, but. Yeah, this will always be a second home for me. It'll always be a piece of my heart. And, as I said, it's always great to come back.
Well, thank you so much. It's
Thanks, Kathy.
This is
Thanks, Bobby.
crazy that we finally got this panned out. I've only been texting you for 9 years.
I've only been trying to make it happen, yes, for sure.
I will say, though, one day he texted me, you were in the city, and you must have put the radio station on. He was like,
I did.
You have your own show? He's
And
like,
that was also 9 years, like you just said. It's been a long time. And I literally was driving. I was like, oh, you got your own show now? She's like, yeah, it's been, how many years? I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
So.
Shane Victorino, he's at Citizens Bank Park this Sunday, August 16th. You can go for free. You can park for free. First pitch is at 1:35. Shane, thanks so much.
Thank you always.